So, first things first, how are you?
I'm really good.
Good to hear. So, before we talk about your recent music, I'd like to jump back to the beginning. And you were born in 1977.
That's correct.
And you also have a tattoo of 1977.
Yeah, it's here.
So, what does that year or date signify to you?
Well, the end of punk and the year I was born.
Okay. You say the end. Why the end?
Well, Sex Pistols became successful in 1977 and they finished touring in 1978. So when something becomes that popular, it's the end, it's the beginning of the end. So I classify 1977 like the end of punk music.
Okay. And obviously you've been inspired a lot by punk music, and you were way too young at that age. So obviously 1 year old you can't. But do you remember when you started to delve into punk music? When your interest started in punk music?
I believe I was attracted by the power.
Okay.
and the raw way to express words and lyrics, and the music was so in your face. That was kind of my way to live at that moment when I discovered punk music. So I thought it was a good idea to relate myself not only to the punk music but to a punk lifestyle, and that's the way I've been evolving myself. No rules. I still play with no rules, and that's what I do.
Yeah, you mentioned the lifestyle, the punk mentality. So especially early on when you started to develop as a musician, what did that mean? How would that manifest?
I think playing and living with no rules. It's a better way to express yourself, because when you have no boundaries, then you can continue to evolve and to continue to explore and grow. And that's probably why punk music and punk in general was so important to my life, to myself.
And when did you, because you mentioned the word evolving, when did you kind of veer into other streams of music? When did electronics and those kind of stuff?
Well, this is the thing. I started studying classical music when I was 9 years old, and even that way, the way I was studying classical music was without rules. Okay. So I learned how to play out of a scheme, and in a way, punk taught me that that's what I wanted to do with music. And in a way, my teacher was trying to teach me something proper, and I was in the middle way. And that middle way gave me the space to explore all different nuances of music. And that's the reason why the Bloody Beatles is a project with no music genres.
Right. And well, that's interesting because well, like you say, you've been classically trained. Do you notice now that still certain elements of your classical background come back into what you do?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you learn something and you absorb that something and you deliver something else. So I believe it was a really good experience to get to know how music works, and in terms of harmonies and melodies, because nowadays I'm able to tell you about harmonies and melodies and how important they are in my music.
So when did you kind of know what direction to go in? When did you kind of find, well, when was the first couple of songs written that you were proud of, that you thought, okay, now I'm doing something?
I'm always proud of my music. Even, like the 3 seconds riff that I write, I'm always proud. I don't relate myself, I don't relate my music to the effect that it has to the crowd, if that makes sense.
Sure.
But I relate the music I make to myself. So if it's important, if those 3 seconds are important because they can get the people or get me a feeling that I just lived, that's just wow,
And these feelings, where do they come from? The kind of those riffs and those, can it be anything that kind of?
Well, this is the thing. I don't spend much time in the studio,
Okay.
but I love spending my time around, living my life.
Right.
And all the music that I write is basically my life. I go back to the studio with a good title because I was living that moment, and that moment gives me the strength to produce or compose some new music.
And obviously, as your career then, or career is I don't like that word, but as your musical development progressed, then your life has changed as well. So how has that affected the type of music that comes out?
Oh, well, I think my life affected my music year by year.
Okay.
And if you listen to the Bloody Beatles of 10 years ago, they're really different from the Bloody Beatles of today. Life changes, and as long as I'm able to evolve, then I can, tell some new stories, and they're all different. Even the way I produce music is different from the way I used to produce music. So it's all brand new. Every new day, it's a brand new day.
Okay. So what have you noticed then over the last couple of months, maybe, that the kinds of things that would occupy your mind, or the kinds of things that would inspire you?
Well, now I really go up to the mountains and think. So I think in the future I will probably produce some crazy music inspired by nature. But talking about the new Bloody Beatles album, it's like a year of life that tells everything that I was going through.
Okay.
And it's pretty wide in terms of music genres,
Right.
and also very deep in terms of lyrics as well.
And did that come easy to you? That because lyrics can be very personal. Was that always easy for you to put those personal things onto paper? And
Well, English is not my first language, as you can understand. But I love talking to people and relate to people, like singers in this case, and get them my feelings to have back lyrics that I'm interested to produce. And that was pretty much the whole experience around the Bloody Beatles new album. So calling people on the phone and telling, hey man, do you want to be, the voice for this song?
Right.
And I started asking, and lots of people joined me in this journey, and I have amazing singers singing on my album with amazing lyrics.
What do you base your selection on when you work with somebody? What are you looking for in somebody that maybe lends their vocals to you?
Oh, empathy.
Okay.
That's the only thing that really matters when I meet, a person that I want to work in studio with. So empathy.
Okay. Well, I want to get a little bit more on why empathy. What is it about that?
I mean, if you have that connection, then you're able to do pretty much everything, because you get so deep inside of everything, even words and music, and even a day together, going around and explore different feelings, different state of minds. If you have that empathy and you have access to that person, then you're able to deliver something really big and with big substance.
So if we take your latest couple of songs, is there one that sticks out for you that kind of captures perfectly what you wanted to say or wanted to?
Well, maybe two.
Okay.
One is My Name is Thunder, which is the single that we released a month ago. And the second one is a song that I wrote with Jay Buchanan from a band called Rival Songs. It's called Nothing But Love.
Okay.
And it's a pretty good song. I gotta say, I'm really proud of that song.
Do you remember where that song started?
Yeah, in Los Angeles. We were in Los Angeles together. It was coming home from Mexico City. I think they were on tour with Black Sabbath. And I really wanted to work with Jay, so I said, man, can you come here in Los Angeles and do something with me? Yeah, of course. And we stayed together 3 days, and we wrote the song together. It was really impressive, the time we spent together.
And Well, no, because well, you kind of mentioned it already, the evolving part of it. But I wrote something down. I think where you said you'd like to be the bridge between music of the past with the sound of the future. So can you explain a little bit more what you meant by that?
Well, that sounds really pretentious. But this is what I want to do. You know, I want to quote all my influences and give them a chance to be contemporary. Right. And to make them contemporary, I need electronic music. And so I really want to, this is what I did with the Bloody Beatles album. I wanted to blend something from the past and something that is part of the present to create something that can be related to the future just because it's contemporary. Mm-hmm. And I always say that I use as an excuse the 4 on the floor kick to aggregate different music genres and make one, which is the Bloody Beatles world.
Have you noticed then, maybe people coming up to you, talking to you afterwards, or even just in the audience, that you've kind of enlightened new generations to certain types of music they wouldn't kind of...
Yeah, sometimes lots of, even a really new upcoming generation comes to me saying, oh man, I just discovered you the other day and you're great. I mean, oh, thank you very much, but do you understand what I'm trying to say? And they do, and that's, it's wow. To me, it's really important to cross over generations. Mm-hmm. And I think this is like, after 10 years of the Bloody Beetroots, this is maybe the 4th generation that we're talking with. And so I'm pretty happy about the results of all these years.
Finally then, because we talked about empathy, but also the kind of that you want to connect with the audience. So what is it then like going on stage? What is your mentality when you go on stage?
The Bloody Beatles live is a different animal. Right. It's even a different animal from what I write in the studio. It's like myself delivering all my energy to the people and to create like a big global gathering, if that makes sense. So we don't even play an entire song from beginning to the end. We maybe cut the songs every 25-30 seconds, and then we jump from song to song. I think tonight we're gonna play like 35 songs an hour. Because we like jumping and create different sonic dimensions and give people a journey into my brain in 1 hour. That's the best we can do.
Right. But so is that part of it then for you also to keep it unexpected, or that people can't predict where it's going, and like you say, you take.
I love to be unpredictable and unexpected. So I love, changing directions because this is who I am. Right. And I love doing that.
And so finally then, because you mentioned the album, what do you hope that people that listen to the album will take away from it, or kind of do with it?
Well, I think they're going to be surprised, but also they will understand finally what the Bloody Beatles mean. Because I explore an entire world, which is my world, my life, my heart, my feelings. And I think in the album I have more than 17 songs, so it's more than enough to understand, the odds together in the same room.
Well, one last question then, because you say finally people will understand who you are, and you've been doing this for a while, like you mentioned, and you also performed under St. Bates City Rockers. Uh-huh. So why finally? Do people kind of sometimes have misconceptions about you?
No, I think I didn't express myself. And you're not able to express yourself until you do a certain journey. And this journey took me, took pretty much 10 years to be completely explored and delivered. So I can tell now that this new Bloody Beatles album can show people the real core of the project. Right. But it took 10 years to get there.
Fair enough. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
Thank
really
you.
My pleasure.